Good evening and welcome to my midweek recap here for the S&P 500 and plan ahead for Thursday and Friday and hopefully into next week if we get the big moves that I'm looking for. From my weekend video, I was looking at taking a position in these 2019 325 calls here. There's a big position opened up on Friday, so I went ahead, I did chase, bought the high, apparent high anyways for the time being, got in at 92 cents, so we'll be planning on holding those for as long as possible. May start to take some off if they get up to 184 just to lock some in at 100% and ride the rest as long as I can. Later on Monday, I did take a couple of other positions, look for this gap to hold as support. Buyers hit the tape right here, got into 25May 273 calls at 204. Once this candle failed, stop was a little bit too loose. I should have closed up here, but hindsight trading, you're always 100% right. So ended up getting out at 187 down here on the low. Another hammer candle set up here. Buyers hit the tape, nice push up consolidation into the end of the day. So I did take a second opportunity in those same 273 calls here at 197. However, price action failed at the VWAP right at this region here, which I do not have on this chart, and came down. Big selling came into the close and just didn't have that nice warm sensation of holding overnight for those plays. So I did go ahead and get out of that. On Tuesday, made up for those small losses here. I took another swing here in some 16 June 285 calls at 44, extremely low implied volatility in these. Hopefully, we'll get a nice pop-up, two highs up here around 275, maybe even a 280, which I'll get to in a moment, in which case I will close that out for about 100% gain. Later on in the day, Tuesday, did get into the 29May 271 calls, which was per my video plan. I was looking for the 270 calls, however, I missed the initial touchdown here of the ADMA, so bumped it up a little bit, got on 271 calls at 234. Nice gap and move much higher on the open on Wednesday here. Sold off half of them on the initial pop at 274, and the rest did stop me out here on a break below this consolidation range. Just a little bit of chop, a little bit of a wide chop actually. Took me out 241. Now, had I managed this on a higher time frame, there would have been no reason to close this position out, which is something I will work on holding a little bit longer. I have a note up here where these calls actually did hit $3 and think about 315, 320. So left some on the table, but overall still a profitable trade. Now going forward into tomorrow and what I will be looking for, I may add yet another couple more swings, or maybe one depending on which one of these trigger, if any of them trigger. Looking for a move above this 272.5 level right here. I will be planning to take some 275 calls about 3 weeks out, or the June 9th 279 calls. I have that note on there because the implied volatility is extremely low, and it's probably going to go ahead and hit my measured move target over here on the daily time frame up to finish this W at about 280. Now the measured move up there is actually to about 293, may actually continue up to 300, but we'll see. Only time's going to tell if that's actually the case. What I will say off the daily time frame is price action came down, touched the 8 EMA, which implies there is momentum in the name. There's still strong buying on the 8 EMA, so we can at least expect a new high above this recent peak of about 274.25. Over here on my plan, if this does not trigger above this flag, I can expect it to pull back down to about 270, at which point I'll be looking for 270 calls again about 2 weeks out. Most likely we'll close a couple of these other positions and look for something a little bit cleaner. If it breaks down completely through it, still have my other lines down here, the 21 EMA and the 50 SMA. I'll be looking for 268 calls approximately 2 weeks out in the future. And I'm going to go here to yet another time frame, or another chart, which potentially illustrates another flag. I like these flags because they're an indication of momentum, and buyers are still willing to pay higher, basically. So this most recent flag starts at about 265, runs up to about 274. We're now in an area of chop consolidation where you can see volume is dwindling down. Even though there's been a couple of high spikes, it is still on the way down. Overall measured move from there, where you can see the initial volume came in off this 8 EMA, is up to about 279. If this breaks on the open tomorrow or in the next couple of days and it brings in a spike in volume, I would say above this level of 8 million shares, I'd say the measure move could be taken from this 272 area which takes it up to about 281, which does tag the top of this W. So that's the plan that I'm looking for, and why I'm adding in so many bullish positions to the S&P. I want to capture as much of it as possible. This will be my trade plan for Thursday, Friday, maybe even next week. We'll see how long these play out. Have a good evening. If you have any questions feel free to leave them down below. Good luck.